Then I started playing soccer for Santa Madonna di Fatima, the church team.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And the priest was our coach.
Yeah.
Not good experience, man. Yeah, you haven't seen
A priest was their coach.
you never saw a priest upset after a loss.
How upset did he get?
You're laughing, it's true.
Priest
Padre
is a soccer
Domenico. Now we had the two.
Well, on the sideline, did he used to yell?
No, but in the change, he used to hit us with the cross.
And after the game, he nailed you to the cross.
It's true. We used to have two guys helping him, Vittorio and Pepe. Vittorio used to have a Fiat 500.
Yeah.
So old, so rusty that when you were sitting in the front seat, they were all on the ground. You can see the street. The road. And he used to pack the whole team.
Did you have to put the foot in the hole and push the car?
That car, probably by now, it's like a kind of Flintstones car. He's probably used his feet now. But
The shin pads.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Shin Pads. We are here with the great, one and only Armando.
one and only.
This is your microphone.
See, one and only. Do I need to hold the whole thing?
You can just put it.
Yeah, that's no. I'll leave it like this. Yeah, thank God this is one and only.
The one and only.
Imagine two of me. The internet will go crazy. We'll try to kill each other on the internet, Facebook, Instagram.
Armando is
Buonasera. Welcome to everyone.
beautiful. For those that don't know, Armando is one of the most vocal fans for his club Napoli, especially in Australia, if not probably the most vocal we've ever seen.
I'll take that. Thank you. I like it.
That's a compliment,
That's
is it?
a great introduction. We should do it again. Yeah, and my son should tape it on my mobile phone. So I can use it as a ringtone.
Yeah, we can.
Every time somebody ring me, we go here, the most vocal Napoli fan in the world. Hello, it's me.
So when you hear the word Napoli, what does that mean?
Oh, I'll tell you something. First of all, be a Napoletano, it's kind of a state of mind because we're quite different from the rest of so-called Italy. Because for us, it's the team, the people, the city. It's one thing. We don't split. You know, I'm not from Napoli if I don't support Napoli. I don't understand. I don't know if you can understand that kind of concept. For us, it's like we're more proud to be Napoletani than the national team. We don't care about the national team.
Yeah.
Tell us. Yeah. Let's get
What
into
is that turnail with the national
Yeah,
team?
what is-
There's a
what
bit
is-
of...
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna do a bit of history lesson here, guys. So sit down, take a piece of paper and a pen, and take notice. Huh? Not many people are gonna tell you this. So what happened is Italy's been unified for 170 years, roughly, give it or take it. Before that, Napoli used to be the capital of a kingdom called Two Sicily Kingdom, which the king of Napoli and the Two Sicily used to be the son of the king of Spain. We'd be under the Spanish flag for over 200 years. And the south was the richest part in Europe. You know, the first bank, the first public university was in Napoli. If people can go to university now and study for free, actually for free in Australia, not so free.
They do a free over there.
Over there is free, but the first free university to people, it was in Napoli over 300 years ago. Imagine 300 years ago, when the rest of the world don't even have toilets and flashing water, we have public university in Napoli. We had train station. The first train in Europe was built from Napoli to Aversa, and it's still there. There's still a museum with still the train line. What do you call it?
Train tracks.
train
yeah.
tracks.
Right, train tracks and the train. So, stop with the history lesson. We beat.
That was a short history lesson.
We can do like 12 30 minutes.
Our viewers are ready and
No,
it's done.
no, but they buy big cheap pen. They don't last long anyway. So going back to this, we don't feel Italian. Not that we don't like Italians. For me, Italians are like Spanish or French. They cousin to me. But don't call me Italian. I don't stand up for the national items because it represent the Savoia which is the people that murdered millions of Napoletani. You probably don't know, but the first lager used in Europe was not in Germany against the Jews, was in Fenestrelle, north of Italy, and thousands of ex-soldier kids and women from Napoli got killed in those lagers.
Wow.
But because we know rich and popular in the world, people don't talk about us, this kind of stuff. So there is still a museum in Torino. Now we go to the part where we hit Savoia, Agnelli, and Juventus down to earth.
Yeah.
There is a museum in Torino where there is a mummified head of people from Napoli. They got killed during the invasion, and they were studying us like monkeys.
Wow.
And that museum's still open. So
That's
I mean,
crazy.
that's sad. I don't know.
Yeah,
Look at your face. I don't want to talk
if
about
you
that
do-
stuff.
no, no,
It's
no.
about
Ah,
to
you
cry.
can talk about it.
But I come from a Croatian background.
So you know exactly
And
what I mean.
I know what you're talking about. I've been to museums over there, and like that are from like the homeland war, as they call it. And it's unbelievable how many things there are in Europe. If you actually go around Europe and you travel, not to the beaches, if you actually travel inland.
And see the
to
true
the country
story.
down, you see, like you say, the true story of what actually happened. You will see that there is some really, really disturbing things that are
They
actually
happen.
around,
Exactly.
but that are still around. You know what I mean? That you can still see.
Which is
Like-
disgusting.
100%.
And you know what? One thing that I learned in life, history books, news now, those days, everything is being given to us by the winners. Have you ever see a winner of a war saying, oh, we won the war, but the other guy was not so bad, we're just the strongest one. They're always going to make the other one looking bad. Look like talking about, politics in Italy, and everybody associates fascismo with racismo. They say, oh, back then they were racisti. But I'm saying, wait a second, racism.
Racist.
Hands hasn't ended yet. So if you go to South America, Pietro, put it down, sorry, Bello, or go over there. We can
Yeah,
edit
yeah.
this. Guys, we're going to edit this. You're never going to see this part. Unless he's gonna do a blooper, sir.
Oh, it's all good.
A
That's all
blooper,
good.
so good.
Just put that a little bit closer. To,
Just go a little bit over there if you
I
want to play.
turned up his game.
No, it's I'll put it down. Yeah, it's right.
Anyway, so what I'm saying
good, trust me.
is,
Oh, is it? All right. All right.
come on, man, the middle
It's
one.
it's all
There's,
good.
there's three. The middle one is the one in the middle. It's not that hard.
Say the middle one.
Anyway, so always say, oh, you know what? Let's go back to talk about
Fascismo,
football. Yeah,
racismo,
racismo.
go.
You say, what's my dry?
Racismo, racismo.
Yeah, in the middle one. The middle one. I like to start from the beginning. If you think about in South Africa, apartheid just ended 20 years ago.
Yeah.
In America, black people could not even go in the bus with white people up to the 70s. So racism was part of the world. So just focusing on that particular time of the history, I'm just using that as an example because everybody knows what we're talking about. But we could do so many other examples, So don't judge history through the history book.
Yeah.
Judge history through the people that can report you.
Yeah.
What's been passed from grandfather to grandfather to grandson.
Yeah, that's why they call it his story.
Exactly.
Like his, yeah. I thought that was.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was not
it's
funny,
his
but
story. You get it? History
I-
is his
I get it.
story.
I get it.
laugh,
Yeah.
laugh.
I get it. Yeah, no.
Great joke.
We're editing the
I
laughing.
keep him.
You know what?
It's a- it's all laugh.
You know what you do? You say your line and then you cut and just put this part when we do. Just cut the middle part when we look at you. What?
After everything. After
Yeah,
everything.
cut everything.
The
Just-
worst
What was that?
edited, the worst edited video.
Anyway, let's
So
go to
His
When-
story.
when did you start getting involved in the club Napoli?
Okay.
When did it start?
My mom was pregnant of me in 1974, Napoli, Perugia. There was an invasion after the game. And my dad dragged my mom on the pitch, asked her to kneel down, and took the grass from the field and put it on my mom's belly. I said, that's for you, son. That was my first time I was at the stadium.
Oh wow.
From that day
That's
onwards,
crazy.
I remember, I still have at home a little pillow that you can open, because back then the stands was stands. When I
Yeah.
say stands, was marble stands.
Uh-huh.
All right, concrete, no cover. So for a kid sitting in the stands would be like, very uncomfortable. So I still have this pillow that my dad bought for me, and you can still read Napoli on top, but it's very old.
Yeah, yeah.
You open and it's got a little bit of leather on both sides that you put on the concrete, and you used to sit on this pillow. So I used to go to the Stadio San Paolo pretty much every Sunday because there used to be 2 teams in Napoli. Napoli,
Yeah.
and then back then we had the Campania, then become Campania Putolana, and then.
Yeah.
But it was in the early 80s it made it to Serie B, so it was very good. And they used to play at San Paolo, so all the city used to go to watch both teams. When
Beautiful.
Napoli was away back then, when I was little, I used to go watch Campania Putolana. Then I started playing soccer for Santa Madonna di Fatima, the church team. Yeah, and the priest was our coach.
Yeah.
Not good experience, man. Yeah, you haven't seen never,
A priest was their coach.
you never saw a priest upset after a lost.
How upset did
They
he
can
get?
you're laughing, it's true.
Priest
Padre
is so-
Domenico. Now we had the 2.
Well, on the sideline, did he used to yell?
No, but in the change he used to hit us with the cross.
And after the game, he nailed you to the cross.
It's true. We used to have 2 guys helping him, Vittorio and Pepe. Vittorio used to have a Fiat 500.
Yeah.
So old, so rusty that when you were sitting in the front seat, they were all on the ground. You can see the street. The road. And he used to pack the whole team.
Did you
in the-
have to put the foot in the hole and
Almost,
push
man,
the
almost.
car?
That car, probably by now, it's like a kind of Flintstone's car. He's probably used his feet now. But that was very good.
pushing,
But the best thing was he was filling the whole team in the Fiat 500 and drive us to play
He
games.
fit the whole team.
I was back then. I was a right back, and I never forgot these things. One day the coach comes in the change room, the priest, Padre Domenico, Armando.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Padre Domenico.
Oh, yeah.
Father Sunday, of course. He's a coach. And he goes to me, Armando, this week, if I see you crossing the halfway line, I'll break your legs.
Yeah.
I promise you. I was like, yeah, no problem. So I remember during the game, I was playing right back. There was a corner for the other team, you know. Ball pimped somehow. Anyway, I started sprinting on the right wing. I was like me and the center back from the other team waiting for me on the other half. And I started running with the ball. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to go all the way through, all the way. Then I wait to the white line, the halfway line, and I freeze. And I said, no, I can't cross this line. So just kick the ball away.
Yeah.
And we lost the ball. And the coach started screaming, what the hell are you doing? He just screamed other things, but I can't repeat it.
It's
And
not.
I'm thinking,
that-
but you
it-
told me
it's-
not to cross the white line. I was scared.
It won't be accepted by the church. We can't say. We can't say the other words.
Like scene, you know, I can't go. So that was fun.
wow.
Sounds
That's
fun.
great.
Sounded very
never
fun.
Never saw a little bit of grass.
Never saw grass?
No, our soccer pitch never had grass.
Wow.
There was like sand, stones. I remember once. Then from Madonna di Fatima, I got signed up by the team of Vigili Urbani.
I thought Juventus for a second.
Never, man. I prefer going clean toilet to that place. Seriously. I'm gonna be on the dole outside Flinders Street Station asking for money, but never.
No, for
Never.
Juventus.
No, not even be in the club like a maintenance guy. Nothing. Look, I got off a few years back from Branchik Zebra here to be a director for the juniors. They offered me 20 grand, and I said no because the color. So there's something that I put before money,
Yep.
which is the honor.
The honor.
And my honor, it's all I got. My
Yeah.
face, my words, my hands.
Well,
My
I reckon you should start up a football club here. Something to do with Napoli. I mean, there's
There's a couple. There's Carlton Azzurri. Carlton Azzurri. Yeah.
Azzurri.
They got the little donkey on the badge. It's
And-
actually
and-
organized by Davide D'Antoni. You probably know he's from the page.
Okay.
Okay.
A good guy, good friend of mine. I
And-
think Nawading.
What's Nana Wadding?
No, the one with the N. That looks pretty cool. That looks like Napoli. I remember playing against them when I was a
Is that Nana Wadding?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're horrid.
I know, but they blue with the N, so I like them.
And they cop 140 goals a year.
colour.
140 goals a year.
Who?
They concede.
Yeah?
Nana Wadding.
They
yeah.
got the Cristiano Ronaldo of the keeper then. They just had to turn around and so I went to play for this team Vigili Urbani, and I remember catching the bus going all the way there by myself. My dad always said, "You're not good enough, better go to work." He didn't have time for me to take him, so they're not like today's kids, you know.
Yeah.
Equip him and
Father's
everything.
pushing him everywhere. Play.
No,
sending
back
him to
in my
academies.
time, the father used to look up, Maradona, my son, Maradona, my son, Maradona, go to school.
You'll never be Maradona.
Yeah, that was a problem, man. When you grow up in the generation when Maradona play for your team, you screw.
Yeah.
Because everybody look at him.
Expects you to be.
No one looks at the guy on the bench, you know.
Yeah.
But you could be the one on the bench and still making money, you know.
Yeah.
No one.
yeah.
And back then, the guy on the bench really, you know.
He's having the best time of
Do you
his life.
remember
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the second or third goalkeeper of teams from the 80s?
The best goalkeeper.
No, the bench, the second or the third goalkeeper.
No, I can't. But I tell you now, the best goalkeeper ever.
Oh no.
What happened?
It's called the ambulance.
Is that an elephant or giraffe?
It's all right.
The best goalkeeper, the smartest goalkeeper, was Mark Schwarzer.
Yeah. Why?
Because he was at Chelsea. He did not play a minute. Won the league. Got transferred to Leicester City. Did not play a minute. Won the league. 2 Premier Leagues in 2 years. Not a minute on the
I
field.
could have done that too. You know?
But that's what I'm saying. But you went to work.
I know. Because my dad did not believe that I could be a good bench player. Guys, we need bench player. The world needs the bench players. Imagine a team without bench players.
Imagine a world without Danny Welbeck.
That would be a nice world. That should be the same. Nothing much.
So Douglas, why do you hate Juventus so much?
Because they owned by the Agnelli family. Agnelli family, in politic-wise, they're the most criminal family in the history of Italy. They've done so much bad to Italiani, the people, to the Italian industry. They done bad on anything. They squeeze the government like a lemon for over 40 years. Now, in Italy, we got something called Cassa Integrazione. So what happened in the 80s and 90s, Cassa Integrazione is the government that pays your wages from where you work so you don't get sick.
Okay.
But that was available only for Fiat. So what happened is Fiat said, you know what? I need to close the factory in Caserta, 3,000 employees because I don't make enough money.
Yeah.
And the government says, oh no, wait, you can't have 3,000 unemployed people new on the market.
For sure.
We create this fund called Cassa Integrazione, so everybody get a percentage of tax going towards this fund, and this fund get used to pay employed wages. So Fiat done that for 20, 30 years. So half of the Fiat wages was covered up by the government. Yeah. Now that Italy is in a very economic bad condition, they move everything overseas, overshore, so they don't pay tax and anything else. Also,
Sounds very familiar.
they were forcing immigrants from the south because after the unification of the nation, all the factory, all the infrastructures. This word is bad in Italian as well. So it's get moved to the north. So lots of people from the south were forced to emigrate to the north to work in the Fiat factories because there was no work anymore in the south. So I call this legalized slavery because they were underpaid, 20 people sleeping in one room, like
horrible
like a refugee condition now.
Yeah, horrible.
Back then. So they become rich,
just off the back of other people.
Yeah, other people. So I don't like them.
Yeah.
And
People who are their own.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's pretty much my... Plus, if you're going to go deep in politics, the trilaterale, I don't know how you say it in English, trilateral, was formed by Rockefeller, all right? Now it's called the Bilderberg now. And the only Italian man invited to the first trilateral meeting from Rockefeller was Gianni Agnelli, the nonno of the guy in charge of now the company. And these are the people that rule the world. This is the people that tell the president what to do. They tell the bank how much charging us for interest. So I'm going to support a team run by these people.
So then you wonder how they could afford Cristiano Ronaldo. Huh?
They actually lost 5. See, that's another thing. Yeah. They're very smart to let you know what they want you to know through the media because they control all the media in Italy. They hired in red for 500 million euro.
They what?
In red for 500 million euro. Cristiano Ronaldo did not bring the income they were planning to do. For the simple reason that football, it's not something you can plan on the table. You buy Cristiano Ronaldo win Champions League, you get done by Ajax. Hasta la vista, baby. All your money gone. Simple.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. So...
So do you see Cristiano Ronaldo?
But then not make me speak too bad about Juventus.
Why?
Because you're gonna have so many and like on your video, you're gonna believe
That's
it.
okay.
That's
It doesn't
better.
matter.
Hey,
80% of Australiani follow
Then they can
Juventus
come
because-
here and they
Yeah.
can give us their perspective.
Yeah, Juventina Hannah can come.
And then in a couple months we bring you
And I edited
and
that.
the other one, but me and Adam have to sit in between because
we should do that. We should do that. We should get
have to sit in
all the
between.
Napolitani.
No, to be fair,
get the
let me
Juventus.
break one thing in favor of Juventini of Australia. Actually, the support clubs from Australia to the other countries. I don't even go to that kind of discussion with them because it's not their fault. See, I split supports in two kinds and not get offended because lots of people
fine.
at the start on IFA page, remember the first
Yeah,
IFA?
yeah, yeah.
They used to get offended. They got the concept. I split between supporter and customers. Customers, it's not an offensive way to call people, but I was born in Napoli, grew up in Napoli, and raised now in Australia for 20 years. I want to support Chicago Bulls in NBA. Something happened over there.
It's
At
okay.
the
It's okay.
moment-
It's okay. It's okay.
See, as soon as I said Chicago Bulls,
something fucking went.
I support Los Angeles Lakers, all right, computer? Sorry.
Not good enough. Not good
You
enough.
could tell it's done, you know. Anyway, so I support Chicago Bulls.
Because they're
Because,
my team's rivals, so that's
No,
why that happens.
I used to computer set up.
That's why I
Like
made
mine.
sure because I don't like the Bulls.
But what I'm trying to say is, what I bring to the club, the fact that I can tune on TV and watch their games, I can buy the hat, the cap, the shirts.
Yeah, your customer.
But I've never been there. And if I go there once in my lifetime, I'm not a supporter, guys. That's not supporting. The real supporter, the one that breathe the soccer club every day, the one that get up in the morning, go to work, turn on the radio and start following the radio station. Then after they start having meeting in the club with the other supporters, organize what to do the weekend, how to get to the game, organize the banner, organize the drum, even organize the fight with your opposite, because it depends. There's level of support. So I don't criminalize anyone. I don't like violence, but I also don't like to judge two groups. If me and you tomorrow morning say, oh, Bello, me and you punch on tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock in the park. You say, yes, Armando, we go on and we will punch on. To me, it's not violence. It's me and you decide to have a punch on. So if the other way around, if you ambush me while I'm going to the stadium with my kids and my family, then you're violent. You don't deserve any respect.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
that concept is. I
I
know it's hard for a lot of people to understand.
It makes sense,
See,
no.
me watching the game, sitting down, having a step on my hand every time I want to go for a cigarette, have a restaurant, have a TV screen. That's for me. It's not watching football. This is just shopping center. If I want to go that kind of experience, I take my kids to the movies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like to stand up. Me and my brother, when we watch the game on TV with my father, when I'm back in Napoli often, we stand up in the home. We can't sit down and watch the game.
That's how we are when we watch the national team for
Exactly,
Croatia.
you know what I mean?
You can't sit down because it's just
You can't.
takes over you. You
Yeah.
just got to stand. You
And
want to
imagine-
you want to run into the fucking TV screen and score a
imagine
goal.
in Italy, every time you want to have a cigarette, you can't smoke on the stand. You're gonna get a stamp on your hands and go outside the stadium. What the hell is that? Is that a nightclub?
Yeah.
Are you a Crown Casino,
Yeah.
Club 20,
It's
whatever you
weird.
want?
Club 23.
Yeah, I shouldn't say that, but yeah.
That's
Free
okay. I've
commercial.
got nothing with them.
Yeah,
I can say it.
Well, we can squeeze them. ask
Club
them for money.
24. I think they're closing down actually. Club 23. I
No,
think
actually,
No,
actually, the
We'll give
guy
him-
that used to organize the nightclub at Club 23 moved on. It's the number one. His name is George. It's the best.
Yeah.
He's
I saw
he's
something,
doing
I
the
think, he's closing down,
rooftop somewhere else. I can't remember the name, guys. Not that I don't want to say it, but the management is changing. I don't know what the Club 23 do at Crown Casino
Yeah.
now. So going back to football, that's what I split. So I don't like to get this kind of discussion with the fan that grow up in this country because it's not fair for them. They grow up watching TV. For them, those teams are what they used to get over TV, so that's what they
Yeah.
follow. But for me, for you are from Melbourne, you're a real Melbourne boy, you should go for one of the Melbourne team.
Yeah, I feel
that
like the
makes
one
sense,
I feel like the one issue with that is quality. Okay? I know myself, I've grown up in Melbourne, born and raised, but I've been to Europe and I haven't seen the big leagues. I've never been to England, I've never been to Italy, Spain, France, but I went to the World Cup last year, so I've seen the best against the best. Okay? I've seen real football with real footballers, you know what I mean, live. And I've seen that experience and I've been to watch Dinamo Zagreb. My club is Dinamo Zagreb.
Better, man. Dinamo Zagreb are home fan and on fire.
Right? That's the club that I align with, Dinamo Zagreb, because that's where my family that's the club that has been in my family for years. But I've been born here, right?
But aspetta, I just want to, I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
But there's a connection. Like my son will go for Napoli. My son was born here, but my son is raised the Napoli way. So you didn't pick a team because you turned on the TV and saw Michael Jordan. That's why I said Chicago Bulls, because my age, when I was young, NBA in Italy, we used to get only Michael Jordan. Or Larry the Bird, maybe. A little bit more deep in.
Yeah,
so everybody
Celtics.
jumped on the Bulls wagon.
Yeah.
That's not to be fan.
Yeah.
You have a different scenario. Like my friend Anthony, I got Anthony Seminara from the page, deep, hardcore Juventus fan. History kids going for Juventus, but I will not expect anything else. History kids, the best thing to do is go for the team that their fathers go. That's nothing. It's great.
Yeah.
That's creating a new generation of fan. But I cannot take my heat towards that kind of fan because that's not the rivalry that I've got no rivalry with them. I've got no rivalry with you. If you say to me, Armando, I go for Juventus. I dislike your club. I like to kill your president, but you, I've got nothing against you. I like you.
I get you.
Because
100%.
but if you were one of those from Napoli or one from the region, because you know what we say in Italy, Juventus doesn't have any proper fan in the main cities. Juventus has fan from the suburb and the small area where people got no top league team. So they pick the best one because they get bullied at school. You shit the soccer.
But that's like Manchester
You shit
United.
soccer.
Explain a little bit more on that concept, like, because
But no, let him finish.
Okay,
Otherwise, I sound rude.
No,
you
but
know.
just
It's
that,
typical-
that what you were saying there, I resonate with that because my generation, I'm 22. My generation, Manchester United. You have a look at Sir Alex Ferguson era of Manchester United. You ask any person that has nothing to do with
But don't
football.
classify them as a fan.
But that's the thing. Who do you go for? Oh, Manchester United. Manchester United. Who do you know?
Cristiano
David
Ronaldo,
Beckham.
David Beckham.
You know what I mean?
So it's not to be racist, not to be as smart as, but if we want to talk about football as the ultra world, then I'm all for in Bello. But I can tell you, there's not many in Australia.
Yep.
They can stand up and talk to me about ultras. I'm talking about Italy. I don't know about other countries. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
But I speak a lot of football with a lots of Italian fans in Australia, and they have the Australian culture. It's just a sport. Let's have a beer together. A player I classify myself as the old school football, and I know the old school football will take over again because modern football is dying. Look what they done to the South American Cup. South America was the last place to die for football, and we watched the South American Cup. They have Japan and what was the other team? Qatar.
And next year they have Qatar and Australia.
But look, and the stands are empty. When
true.
did you see a South American game with national team, with Argentina, Colombia, with half of the stadium empty? Have you noticed that the camera was never going up? Always try to zoom in?
Yeah.
Not to show you. You never saw the whole crowd.
Yeah.
Because it was empty. Why? Because they monetize, they bring the European style to South America, build new stadium, seat, raise the price of the ticket.
Yep.
Okay.
They can't afford it.
People cannot afford fast. You know what's happening right now? All these clubs are focusing not anymore on the fan. They're focusing on branding their brand.
Yep.
Okay.
That's modern football business.
Yeah, but hold on. Wait a second. Tell me a brand of the last 30, 40 years that is still around and dominate the market in any kind of field. There is none except Coca-Cola and McDonald's. When I was kids,
Adidas.
I don't know about it.
yeah, but
I don't
Adidas, Nike, those brands,
think
like
it fluctuates.
Coca-Cola. No, but they like Coca-Cola, like, you know, they'll
top
be
brand,
there
top brands,
forever.
yeah.
But I'm telling you, Motorola,
Died. Ericsson. Sony Ericsson.
Levi's for the clothing. You know,
Yeah, the
Australia had a big brand called Mambo. Used to call $1,000 in Italy. Now you buy a Kmart,
Yeah.
3 shirts, $5, and they give you a kiss as well if you buy.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say,
If you buy.
I was going to say something else, but
say it. Oh, you say it.
the kids is here. The son is there.
That's why he brought Junior to make sure he stay grounded.
So what I'm saying is, it's very dangerous for a business because imagine, you said it before, all these people go for Manchester United because Manchester United were winning. But look at Manchester United right now. If they were basing, they did not do it because back then there was no all this internet and, you know, all this TV reachable everywhere. So they're not really focusing on their brand. They just become a brand because they were winning those times. But those teams that are doing this now, they're risking because you have those follow from overseas, and let's put it through. The people, those clubs are pushing for the Asian market.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Majority of the Asian market, they don't try to push for South America or African market. They push for Asian market. Is a million bit. But if I have a quarter of the Chinese supporting my team, because my team right now is the top brand in Europe, what's going to happen when that team lose? Do you think those people are going to stick by their team? No, they're going to jump on the next winning
That's
day.
true. That's true.
So look
That's
all the
true.
supporters that were at Real Madrid because Cristiano Ronaldo. As soon as Cristiano Ronaldo went from Real Madrid to Juventus, they shift to Juventus.
Yeah.
Because they don't. It's bringing back basketball.
Yes.
People follow LeBron James, right? They were
Exactly.
Cleveland fans,
Yeah.
right?
No.
And they were Miami Heat fans, and now they're Lakers fans.
So how
that's
risky?
true.
How risky is this for a brand?
100%. Manchester
Huge.
United is in Perth right now. Currently, they're in Perth. They've touched down into Perth, and apparently Jesse Lingard and Paul Pogba had some argument or some fight or something. But they're playing against Perth Glory on Saturday night,
Yeah.
so it'll be very interesting to see how the turnout is for that game and how that works out, because they are down under, as you would say.
Bello, if you watch any game around the world from any top competition, crowds are empty. Okay, they don't care because they get the rights from the TV and the sponsor and everything. But this is not gonna last forever. Because when I watch TV, if I watch a boring game with empty stands, eventually I'm gonna stop watching that too. So in the long run, this is a big risk. Plus, World Cup every 4 years, then they put Euro every 4 years, but alternate, and then the Women World Cup, and then the Club World Cup.
Everything.
Bello,
Yeah.
how much you can squeeze from us?
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I stick to my club. I don't give a damn beep I can say,
About
I don't
anything
about
else.
anything else.
So whatever you
And
want.
going back to what you said about people growing up and follow Manchester United, I was following Napoli when Napoli was in third division.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
Actually, I respect more. If you come to visit Armando, my mom and dad are from Emilia Romagna. They always support Spal. I support Spal. I take my hats off to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when people say, but what Spal has to win? What trophy you go? You always finish second. I don't care. People that follow a team for the trophy, they're the typical customers. It's like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't want to be associated with it. I don't even
Yeah.
want to call yourself a fan because you're not a fan.
Yeah.
You're a fan of a trophy.
Yep.
Me come to my home, you see my cabinet. My son got more trophy probably than me. Why?
Yeah.
Because every kid's got trophy those year, participate
100%.
trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah,
got trophies.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
You know?
Everybody has to feel like they participated. Everyone, but I feel like that's that modernization of football, and I feel like as I was saying before, the quality of football, and especially here in Australia, that's what drives people away from supporting clubs here. You're saying you're born in Melbourne, you're raised in Melbourne, you support a Melbourne team. It used to be like that when we had ethnic-backed clubs and you had the NSL and people were brought into their clubs, your South Melbourne, your Melbourne Knights, your Marconi Stallions. People were brought into those clubs and they followed it from a young age. They played for that club, they followed that club, they were born into the club,
Look,
like you said.
I also
But-
understand that it's harder here, so it was easier to link to an heritage from overseas because Australian, there is no Australian. So
Yeah.
there's no attachment to any soccer club. I get that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And then you look at the quality. You look at the A-League here, right? You've got, like, and a big part is AFL. And me and Adem always argue about this. AFL, for me, you've got the best AFL players in the world are in Australia. The best
No,
NRL...
well done. The only FL player in the world in Australia.
That's what he's saying.
No, but that's the thing, right?
Sorry.
That's the thing. They play. Germany's got a league. Croatia's got a league.
I know. In
France has
Italy
a
we
league,
got. In Italy we
Italy's
got a cricket league, but it's like
But that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So the best players are in Australia. Rugby, the best players are in Australia. Tennis, you've got players in Australia.
yeah.
Swimmers, the best in Australia. Netball, best in Australia. Football, where's the best?
But you wanna know? You wanna know the main reason why that I think so? Because I've been involved in juniors coaching for AS Roma, for Real Vallecano, Real Valencia. I was, part of a lot.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Coaches in Australia do not have the skills to extract talent from young players.
But summarizing, yes. But I don't like to blame the coaches because I take my son to a club. Let's not make names, okay? Very nice guy, the guy they're coaching. But he probably puts his hands up at the start of the season. Yeah, I'll help, I coach. So what happened now, right now, the problem in Australia, and I had this discussion with the president of South Melbourne and a few boards of Melbourne Victory, because I'm lucky enough to have lots of good friends in football. And I'm lucky enough to never hold what I think. I'll say what I say. Probably that's why I'm not involved in that much in football anymore. But if it's my major club like Melbourne Victory, Melbourne City, Sydney, all the I-League team, they don't have a juniors program. When I say a juniors program, from Pulcini, from under 5 all the way up, so they can pay a coach to be a full-time coach. So that coach can invest his time to study, learn, and dedicate all his time to the kids who get paid for. Yeah. Until we get to that stage, we're never going to have a superstar growing up. You may have one in a bunch of a million making him, but not because he's making in Australia.
Yep.
Because after when he's 11, 12, he leaves to go living overseas. And I got a couple of players, as you know, that I coached when they were little. They had to go overseas.
Yep.
And they're still struggling over there. They're still playing second division or second team because on the board. Because the gap is huge. Now, going back to I-League, so we start talking about juniors. This broadcast will last really forever because I'm really hard on that.
Same.
Because if I went to do my coaching course at the Football Federation, I went to do my C license and my instruction. Once again, let's split the professional to the person, because all the players that I met in football in Australia, they all put their hearts in, because 90% are volunteer. So you cannot say they're bad. They're top people. They put their free times in, but they're not qualified to do it, all right? It's like sending my kids to school and one of our parents is going to teach them maths. And then at the end of the season, I'm going to say, sorry, your son is not good enough. He doesn't know how to do graph.
Yeah.
But it's not his fault. You teach him nothing because you're not a teacher. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 100%.
So going back, what I'm saying is that I went to do this course here at the UEFA, so the C license, senior C license at the Federation a few years back when they first launched it. And this guy comes to us and he told us, we need to play this formation, this football style, this philosophy, the 4-3-3, ball always from the back, pole possession, BPO, BPP, all these beautiful technical words, you know.
BP, BPO, BPO to BP, and BP to BPO.
When you heard that coach on the
You don't know what that is? BP is ball possession. BPO is
in
ball
other
possession
words,
opposition.
they just,
and then it's like it's transition play when you lose the ball, when you win the ball, when you have it, and when you don't have it.
Negative transition. Sounds
I
more
get it.
complicated. So, and you see them on TV too. Oh, yeah, today we play bad because our BPO, BPP, just say like coaches in the 80s used to say, to play we play shit because our centre back keep giving the ball away. This motherfucker, I'm not going to play him ever again. You know? Speak our language, guys. Football used to be the sports of people. You make it sound like it's the sports of scientists. That's why the stadium are empty. That's why Apply don't know what they're doing. Because even Apply, guys, you're going to think a concept. Apply is one of us that doesn't want to work, doesn't want to go to school. He wants to play football, all right? So I get to a change room. I need to have a coach that talk to me directly. Not that a coach goes, Armando, you know, when you are in BPO and BPP and TTT and ta-ta-ta, you're going to go this diagonal here. You're going to do this transition here, a rotation here. Hey, the kids is lost. Anyway. But this is Armando going crazy. See, I go all this.
That's
good.
Okay.
We like crazy Armando. We want more crazy Armando.
I got a few Italian friends.
I'm going to keep asking you questions to pull out crazy Armando.
So what we were talking about is the football. If I go to do this course here in Australia, and the guy goes, no, that's the way you're going to be. That's when I said, but what about if I don't have... if I have 3 centre back, not 2 centre back, I don't have good wingers. I cannot do the 4-3-3. Or if I don't have a, I cannot. I said I need to know all the things to adjust to my back. He goes, no, both from the back. And going back to the quality, I'll be there in a second. That's why I take this big loop around. But I'm gonna get straight nail to what you said about the quality. And this guy goes, no. I said, what about my philosophy, my ideology? I go, I'm a human being. He goes, no. When you do your pro license, then you come here and give us your philosophy. I said, but by then you've been brainwashing me. Because I've been doing your philosophy for 20 years, because by the time you get the pro license, that's another story in Australia. You know? It's only for rich people. If you're rich, you can afford, you can do all the courses you want. If you've been playing football in the past in Australia, which is shit level, you can still get a job in coaching and top league. If you are qualified, you've been working out your ass off and everything, but you know one of the elite X of the football in Australia, you're never going to be looked at. But anyway, this guy tell me that I need to do his way. So I asked him, where did you coach? And he goes, I never coached seniors in my life because it's not my bowl of cereal. I'm thinking, but you want to tell me I need to build up my coaching philosophy because the federation tell you to tell me, but you never even coach in your life. Now, I went to do a 10-day seminar with Renzo Rivieri, Italian Coaching Association president, at Melbourne University. There was me, There's a lots of top blokes, coaches. They've coached in Premier League those days. There was a couple of a couple of A-League to be coaches starting there, and I was there and talking to Renzo Olivieri. I like to make friends with everyone.
Yep.
And I was there talking to Renzo Olivieri. He used to call me Napoli, vieni qua, Napoli, come here, Napoli. And I goes to him, what's the philosophy? He goes to me, I'm not here to tell you how to play. I'm here to pass you as much knowledge as I can. So today I'm going to show you the 4-3-3. Tomorrow I'm going to show you the 4-4-2. And then the 3-5-2, blah, 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 numbers. Because at the end of the day, they're numbers.
Yeah.
And but you're going to make it work for you. It depends on what level you're going to coach. It depends on what player you get in.
Yeah, what players you got to adjust.
You're
to
going to
the
adjust.
players you've
I
got.
can tell you to play from the back, but if you got 4 defenders with 4 left foot,
Yeah.
that they can't kick a straight ball, and you try to play from the back, you're going to be done.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, Jesus, Renzo Olivieri, coached Roberto Baggio, coaching in Serie A, is the president of the Italian Coaching Federation.
Yeah.
So it's somebody with, he knows what, he tells me that I have to do my way. I need to find my way.
Of course, that's what sets you apart.
And then I go to Football Federation Australia, which is level of Italian Coaching Federation. It's like, like talking, I was sitting at the table with Mike Tyson. I went to do a boxing lesson in Deer Park, Maybe a street fight in Deer Park. That's actually
Anthony Mandina.
No, but Mandin is, look, I'm more a green guy. I'm a big fan of Danny Green. The machine, Danny, wherever you are.
Danny Green, huh?
I like him.
If you're watching Danny,
you know what? I know Danny because he used to come at my restaurant, Crown Casino, pretty often. And we exchanged a few messages on Instagram. He's a top guy, so I like him a lot. This guy keep moving. He keep interrupting me.
I know.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Pokemon? We're talking about Pokemon?
Digimon.
So I'm saying, if the guy that could tell me you have to do my way, I will shush and do it because the guy has got experience.
Yeah.
Tell me to do my way. And the federation with the coach tells me to do his way, but they never coach seniors. There must be something wrong. So going back to quality, it's the same thing. You go watch I-League play, and you see everybody try to same kind of football. Everybody in Australia for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they've been trying to play from the back. But if you don't have the Iniesta, if you don't have the Ramos, if you don't have the Albiol of the world, they can play from the back.
Yep.
You only put your player under pressure, high risk of mistakes, and the game is going to be rubbish.
Yep. You're right, 100%.
At the end of the day, you can adjust.
Yep.
Imagine me, I'm going to coach my team against Barcelona, and I want to do, guys, we play from the back, high pressure to the ball, the guys that carry the ball, blah, blah, blah. They're going to score me 20 goals in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If I play against Barcelona, I'm going to say, guys, first of all, I'm going to pick up all the fat cunts in the world. And I just put it on the white line in the goal. And I want to see how they show. I'm going to park, not the bus. I'm going to park a jumbo jet in front of the goal. Because that's life. Yeah. It's football. That's going back to I-League why it's boring. Yeah. But also because there's not enough money. And they're having a third team in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You should have one team only and invest all those resources in one team. That way you can pay higher wages. You can get better players.
Better team. Better.
But did you? I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the main sponsor for Western United? They've announced it.
Who is it?
ProBuild. I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
you don't know ProBuild?
No.
ProBuild is one of the largest building companies in Australia. They do all the skyscrapers and stuff like that. So if you go into the city, you'll see ProBuild everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
So that's their big sponsor. So they're going to have a lot of they're doing all of their merchandise, all of their like scarves and stuff like that. Not the jerseys.
Yeah.
But all like the scarves, the hats and stuff. It's all getting made in, I think it's Ballarat.
Oh, nice.
So
local.
They're doing local.
It. That's a good thing.
So I feel like I'm gonna say it, but I don't know if it's true or not. But this is sort of what I feel. I feel like Western United is Melbourne Heart 2.0. I feel like they stuffed up with Melbourne Heart.
Oh, yeah.
And this is them trying to do it again in a different way. Because Melbourne Heart was supposed to be the same type of club, local, pushing people, not pushing people away from Melbourne Victory, but getting a different fan base, you know what I mean? And then when City Football Group took over and Melbourne Heart was sort of on the decline, it became sort of just another brand, if you will. I mean, you look now, Manchester City has Puma, Melbourne City has Puma.
Yeah, look, I watch a bit of I-League, and when I go to the stadium, because thanks to one of the board that normally I get free tickets and I'll take Pietro whenever I can, because with my job, my lifestyle, Very hard to have free time when the games are on. And I like going there. I like sitting with the players. I like talking to them, but because for me, it's not going watching a game. It's like going, to the cinema, to the circus. You know what I mean?
It's not as intense.
It's not that. I don't hardly. With there, Peter's watching sometimes, but I think they've done a big mistakes at the start of the I-League with the marketing, because if I got a new product in Australia, football, soccer, what they want to call, was brand new. You cannot put on private TV. You cannot put on Foxtel.
That's true.
You need to push on public care as much you can.
Yeah.
Get 10 years of people loving you, and they say, you know what, you like it, now you have to pay it for.
Yeah,
That's
true.
why it's dying. Look, the stadium empty. I remember the first few air leagues, we used to go there often. The stadium was full.
Yeah.
You had the Melbourne Viti had the cheering squad. I think Adam used to be in charge of them. Tuna.
Yep.
They used to be nice. The first few years was nice.
100%. Well, that's
But
the
if
thing.
you don't show it on TV, kids are not going to watch it. We're not going to watch it. We don't even know when the next game is because it's on private TV.
But I agree with you 100%, and that's a point I've never raised. AFL, free to air. Swimming, free to air. Tennis,
Everything
free
is
to air.
Even Formula 1 is free to air.
Formula 1, free to air. NRL, free to
Formula
air.
1 free to air, man.
Rugby union, free to air.
Yeah, everything is free to air.
NBL, basketball, free
Simpson
to air.
are free to air, man.
Netball, free to air.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything's
Seriously.
free to air, except for football.
Exactly, which was the only thing without followers in Australia. It's like,
But it did. I'm going to tell you, you're wrong there.
Yeah.
It did have followers.
Yeah, I know.
Do you
but
remember the old NSL?
No, because when I got Chia, this is a funny story. When I got Chia, the first thing they introduced me to this Italian journalist that used to work for Il Globo, Rete Italia, right?
Yeah.
Juventino, of course. And he goes, Armando, you love football. I'm going to give you a free membership if you watch Carlton.
Yeah.
They used to play at the old stadium with the new...
Olympic Park.
Olympic Park. So I got this free membership. I got there with the scarf and everything, Napoli scarf. I'm going to watch Carlton play. Yeah, all the Italians going to be there. I walked there, few hundred here. And majority of the people were behind the goal, behind the two goals.
Yeah.
The two stands were empty. I'm thinking, what the hell?
That's
What's
because you
wrong?
went to watch Carlton.
No, but then I realized why. Because behind the two goals, there was the barbecue area and the only place where you can drink beer. So I remember, Bello, like yesterday, I was there. That's the goal. The fence was here because back then you could actually talk to the goalkeeper when they take a con on the other side. People were, hey, Bello, how are you? What's the score? Would you like? I promise you could talk to the goalkeeper.
You still can.
It was like a state league game now, the same kind of thing.
You still
And I
can.
remember people sitting on the fence. No, the game is over there on the fence, having a drink. Goes, who scored? We scored. The other guy there, oh no, you guys, don't worry about it. Let's have a beer. That's it. Then what's the score? Hey, sorry, goalie, what's the score? So after 3-0 all games.
I never went to watch another fucking game.
Seriously, I returned the membership back to the guy. I said, guys, this is not football, all right? I don't know what you want to call it. Because it was disgusting. And I remember, look, one day I'm going to do a video of my life asking people that spend some time with me to tell their memories about what happened with me. Because my cousin, she thought I was getting arrested one of the last game that I went to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm there, come on, pass the ball, dribble, what the fuck you doing? Run. And I was not even a Carlton supporter. I just got dragged. And people on the back would say, hey, tell this guy to sit down. Hey, sorry, can you keep it quiet? And I'm thinking, come on, man, it's a soccer game.
Yeah.
A football game.
Yeah.
Keep it quiet.
Yeah, I know.
So-
It's ridiculous, man. But tell us, you're a 100% Napolitan.
Oh, he likes to go back to
He
that.
likes to go back to it.
100%. Bello, look at here. Forza Napoli, Fratelli di Nessuno, Napoli, Napoletano, Caffettiera, Totò.
Oh wow.
Oh, can they see?
I think
Oh,
you need
I'm
to
not sure.
stand up.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
We show
We
you the
finished the
merchandising
video.
after.
We finished the
We'll take
video
a photo.
with
We'll put it
Yeah,
with
all right,
the
we'll
thumbnail.
take a photo. We'll take
Yeah.
a photo.
So-
Even the hat, everything.
Tell us what it means for the Napoli people. Maradona. What does Maradona mean for the?
What does he represent?
You know my tattoos on my legs. I got Maradona on my right and Maradona on my left.
I didn't know that.
After I show you, after we take a few pictures, all right? Maradona represent for the people, not from Napoli, from the people of the world. When I say people, I'm thinking about the poorest, the one that never go look after the one that never
The
won
low-
anything. The south of the world.
Yeah, the low
I split the people in northern and southern. Southern are the one that fighting for their rights. Northern are the one that take advance. It's the world. It's like
Yeah, you
Austra-
got
if you think
upper
about
class, middle class, lower
exactly.
class.
So,
I
but
get
if you look the way it is, Australia is the only country in the southern atmosphere that is rich with a strong economy. It's the only one. There is no other country in the southern atmosphere that they're rich. Huh? Anyway, that's political.
Maybe Germany. Maybe Germany.
Germany is northern atmosphere.
Nah,
not in the
Munich. Munich south.
Not the south of the
South
city.
hemisphere.
Atmosphere. You take the hurt.
Oh,
Southern Hemisphere.
Now we're gonna do geographic too. See,
Hey.
I bet the money your teacher. She puts hands up at the start of the season, huh? I'm gonna teach him geography.
And look how that ended up. Huh?
Yeah. See, that's exactly like the soccer player. They don't know how to play. Anyway, so
Southern
Maradona is the kind of guy that told the FIFA, the UEFA, the richest to stick up there because he wants to do what he wants. Not many people knows what Maradona did with people. When I was young, I used to go to Riva Fiorito in holiday. Riva Fiorito used to be the place where Joe Alberti was an Argentinian living in Napoli that became famous because he was the one that got employed to translate for Maradona at the start to help him, to live in Napoli at the start. And Maradona wife and Maradona kids used to come there all the time too. And many times Maradona used to come there and play on the beach with us. I saw Maradona taking off Rolex from his arms and giving to people because a guy goes, "Wow, Diego, I like that watch. It's very cool. Take it." There's people that still go around with cars in Napoli that were donated by Maradona.
Wow.
Maradona says once to an interview on a journalist, says, "Diego, the people of Napoli making everything with your name and your face on. Shampoo, scarves, socks, shoes, anything. And it's all black market and you don't ask for a cent. But then you don't want to do commercial with big brand. Why?" And Maradona says, if somebody's starving to put food on their table and they can feed their kids using my name on my face, please go for it. I don't want nothing from you guys. Use it. But if a rich bastard wants to make more money using my name, he can stick up his ass. I don't want him to make my name. And in fact, if you go around the memorabilia shops, there's not many stuff signed by Maradona. Because he doesn't like this kind of stuff. He doesn't like people making money on him. That's it. From Deer Park to Bashman.
I don't know.
Sorry, this.
You know who that is?
That's
That is Maradona coming to
oh, man.
to see if we want to make some black market stuff. Nah, but and it's funny. Like I got, like I was saying before, I got the opportunity to go to the World Cup last year in Russia, and I spent 5 weeks there. And as a Croatian, it was the best time of my life. It was unbelievable. But the second game I got to watch in Nizhny Novgorod was against Argentina, and I got to speak to a lot of Argentinian people who live in Argentina. Yeah. And Maradona was there, and it was funny because he was sitting. I remember seeing on the, because I work as a journalist, so I had the whole desk there and the TV screen, and I look at the TV screen and I see they've put up an image of Maradona who's sitting just above, just below where we were, just below us, but we couldn't see him because that's all like the corporate area and all that, and he's sitting, and there's a sign, and the sign is says no smoking. And he's got a cigar and he's smoking the cigar next to the sign that says no smoking. It's like, how are you going to tell him not to?
But
how can you stop him?
Going back to what he said, what Maradona is for us, Maradona is the guy that took the south of Italy, revenge against the north. Because remember, it's all about, for us it's politics, it's not a soccer game.
Yep.
All right, for a Napoli team is a army. Mm-hmm. It's not a football team. When they go playing away, they go for a war. For us, the result of the pitch does really matter. What really matters is the result outside the pitch. Mm-hmm. When I used to go watch Napoli playing, for us marching into another city and see the rest of the people of the city moving away, running away,
because you have
because we were
arrived.
shitting itself for us.
Yeah,
To me, we're winning that game already.
Yeah.
I know it's
That's
not
that-
a nice thing,
No.
it's,
But that's that European warfare mentality, right? That doesn't work here.
that's why I split. That's why I don't like to have that kind of discussion with the supporter of Italian team they rise here, because it's not fair for me against them. There's no fair for them that I talk to them and think they support their fun. Yeah. It's not because I disregard them. It's not because I want to downgrade them.
You come from a different background.
I'd split the two teams. I used to keep them the same, and it was no nice because then you got people that here that support the teams overseas. They have nothing to do with the politics and the bullshit behind. So I don't want to take my frustration on them. It's not nice.
No, 100%.
And I got lots of friends from Italy that support two other teams. It's not like we start to stab each other.
Yeah.
No one tried to say.
Yeah.
But for 90 minutes, I don't want to sit next to them. Otherwise, I stab them.
Yeah.
I never watch a game like my kumbare Achille. We've been kumbare in Australia for over 20 years. He's go for Roma and I go for Napoli. We're best friend. He's been the godfather of my kids. I'm the godfather of his kids. We live together. My wife works with him. I'm going to go and work with his son. So we've been together all the time. We see each other at least twice a day. Huh?
Yeah. But for 90 minutes when the game is on...
No, for 90 when there's Napoli-Roma or Roma-Napoli, we don't see each other the night before. And normally, it's the guy that wins the game, they ring the other the day after. The guy that loses the games, they ring the other day after. Normally it's Achille because Napoli's been winning. I love you.
So you've been getting a few phone calls,
Yeah, imagine me
twice a season.
Because look, I wanna watch a game, all right, and I'm gonna be free to swear, to do the things that are fun doing. If I need to swear up, look, I don't get offended when people sing those songs on the stands, Napoletani, Color. I don't get offended. For me, it's part of the game. Because I was the first one to singing, let's burn down Milano, or, Veronese tutta pesi. But that was part of the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean after the game I go outside and burn down the city.
Yeah. It's just voicing your frustration, but being allowed to do it calms you down as well. Because after the game,
look, I put it down like an hip-hop battle, a freestyle rap battle.
Yeah.
People tell each other those things.
All sorts of things. Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna go outside at the back and stab each other. No, they respect each other.
Yeah.
It's like a boxing match. So it's actually, I need to go into your head. I need to go in your fan's head and your player head. I need to make
The
sure
fans are a 12th man in Europe.
Exactly.
They are.
I remember one day, I never forgot. Napoli-Juventus, Tacconi was in goal. All right? We were in Curva B, because I grew up in Curva B. I was a membership of the Blue Lions. Then Blue Lions split to Blue Lions, Brigata Carolina. So I joined the Vecchi Lions. Then from Vecchi Lions, the group would move to Curva because through some street and politics problems, some of the group had to move one side to other of the stadium, which other groups could stay one stadium because a bit of rivalry on the street as well. I went to Curva. I didn't like it. After 3 weeks, I moved back in Curva B, and I was affiliated with the Fedine. And we were actually chant against the same fan, but different groups as well, because there was a bit of rivalry at one stage. But it was Napoli fan. And we had one section of the stadium against the other section of the stadium.
Yeah.
But, we still all go for Napoli. It's just
part
of the game. So, yeah. So that's... and Maradona is the guy that it's like, I don't know, like the Che Guevara of football for us. Maradona is the guy that said that Platini and Blatter were two shifty bastards. And everybody say, you're drug addict, you're drug addict, you're drug addict. But 10 years later, what happened?
Look how that...
Where is Blatter?
Yeah.
Where is Michel Platini?
Yeah.
Fucking bastard.
Sending Qatar to the Copa America.
Please. That's another... I haven't watched a World Cup in a while. Because
World Cup?
It's not football. For me, it's not football anymore. For me, the Champions League is turning. World Cup is already become, and now they killed South America, turning a traveling circle like WWE, like Formula One. Here in Australia, the week that Formula One is in Australia, we all go for Formula One.
Yeah, everyone's a fan.
Then everybody forget about it. Then we'll become tennis fan because Australian Open are on.
No, they're tennis fans first.
Yeah, whatever.
That one's in January. This one's in
what I mean?
Then they
Yeah,
become
for sure.
horse racing fans.
Jesus. Is everybody betting on horses? For 2 weeks they go crazy.
We should get donkey races as well.
But if you do a national thing, they become popular. If you just me and organize donkey races, no, only Greeks and Italians gonna come. Maybe a few Maltese friends, the people from the south like us.
They got told that
what I'm trying
pasties
to
will be
say is,
served.
World Cup has become a joke.
You reckon?
I don't like it. It's become a festival. It's become like a gay parade. You go there,
reckon?
there's party outside the stadium. There's people that go to World Cup, they don't ever go watch a game. They just go there to parties.
That's true.
Come on, man.
That's true.
But you know
Sorry.
why? You know why?
Yeah.
Because Russia is a very good country.
But you can go to Russia 6 days out here. Why you go there for the World Cup?
That's true.
Everybody
Because
else is there too.
That's when the Colombians come too.
But they go to Colombia. Trust
the
me.
Colombians, I'm telling you, I saw them.
With the money you're gonna spend to go in Russia
Better
during the
go
World
live
Cup,
in
you go to
Colombia,
Colombia for 3 months, you're king. You know, the next,
That's true too. That's true too. The money you spend.
Well, look, I'm very when it gets down to this stuff, I'm very strict.
Yeah.
Good.
Football is for men. When I say men, no sexual men.
Yeah.
People with balls.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a girl standing on the stands.
Yeah.
And singing and screaming louder. When I say man, it's not like the sex figure.
Yeah.
for
And when you
me,
say
a man is
balls, you mean heart, desire, passion,
yeah,
grit,
actually, because
determination.
a girl with the balls, it's a girl with the cojones. It's not my bowl of cereal again. You know what I mean? Australia say yes, Armando say maybe.
Ask me
It's
tomorrow.
better cut, man.
Ask me tomorrow, huh?
Ask me next year. Maybe I change my mind.
Maybe.
So I don't know. Look, I know I'm old school. I don't know if there's many left like me. I know a lots of friends in Italy. They think like me, and there's a lots of movement against the modern football. I like what the Milan and Inter Ultras did yesterday against the Lega, against the mayor of Milan, allowing Atalanta to play Champions League in San Siro. It's a disgrace. It's a bullshit, and it's disregarding towards the fan of Inter and Milan. There is a huge rivalry between those three clubs.
Can you? I don't follow much Italian football.
Okay, so
Can
what
you
happened?
expand on that?
Atalanta is building a new stadium.
Atalanta.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and they qualify for Champions League next year, right? And they apply to play the Champions League game in San Siro, which is the home of Inter Milan and AC Milan. Open. We call Inter and Milan. We don't say Inter Milan and AC Milan. I'm using those terminology for you guys in Australia. But if you go to Italy and you say Inter Milan, people are going to think you're talking about both clubs.
Yeah.
Don't do
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
So it's just Inter
Inter and Milan.
And Milan. Yeah.
That's it.
All right?
Okay.
But just you call it whatever you want, guys. I don't really care. Just to let you know. If you go in Italy, say, I'm follow Inter Milan. People think you pick one. You can't it's true. You know. Hey, let's go Inter Milan. Hey, bello. You know.
Big
I'm
one.
going for Inter Milan, Juventus.
Yeah. I'm going for Lazio Roma. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Doesn't make sense. But anyway. So see, I lost the track again, man. You lucky I got
Inter
you. there.
Milan.
About
It's the age,
about
guys.
the
Atalanta
It's the gauge.
playing at
It's
San
the age,
Siro.
yes. So
Let's go.
Atalanta's playing San Siro. And the mayor of Milan said, yeah, not a problem. Now, I'm Inter fan. I'm from Curva Sud of Milan, all right? I'm from the Vecchia Guardia or the Vecchi Lions or whatever they call over there,
Yeah.
which I got lots of respect for those fans. I'm from the Curva Nord of Inter, and I need to know that midweek, the Atalanta supporters, the Ultras of Atalanta, they're going to sit on my seat, in my stand, supporting their team. It's like inviting them over to my home. This is disgraceful. That's why football is dying. That's why hardcore fan are don't follow in football anymore. And that's why football, it will blow up like a big economic bubble because they focusing and basing all their research to this overseas fan. They're not going to last forever.
So do Inter and how is the relationship between Inter and Milan?
I mean, it's a derby. So
But when I say relationship, I mean not so much on the pitch. I mean in the
in the
stands.
stands, it's a derby.
But how much like what's the mentality between the fans? Like, do they hate each other?
Yeah,
or
they hate each other.
They
It's
do.
like Roma Lazio. It's a derby, man. There is it can be a derby if you don't hit the other
So
guy.
how do they go about sharing the stadium?
Because like I said, AC Milan has got the Curva Sud, and Inter has got the Curva Nord. Now, when Inter play home, also Curva Sud is for Inter fan. And when Milan play home, Curva Nord is for, but the hardcore fan, Ultras, Inter Ultras are in Curva Nord, Milan Ultras are in Curva Sud. And
So north and
gonna be.
south.
Exactly. And when Milan plays away against Inter, they sit in Curva Sud. When Inter plays away against Milan, they sit in Curva Nord.
Yep.
It's the way there is.
Yep.
You
Okay.
know, like
And-
in Roma is the same. Roma fan, Ultra Roma, the Fedain, the Cucus, or whatever is around now. Now, the name of the group changed.
So-
Curva Sud e riducibili Lazio a Curva Nord.
Yeah. So Atalanta, you said they're building a new stadium.
Yes.
Right. Are they expanding on the stadium they already had, or are they-
No. What happened in Italy is now there is this legend that if you build a modern stadium, you're going to make more money and win more trophy and get better revenue. So everybody tried to jump on this. But many people don't know that Sassuolo, Frosinone, there's few other little clubs in Italy. They do have their little stadium, but what are they?
Yeah, nothing.
It's just a legend, guys.
Yeah.
They want to make you do this kind of stuff because it's the economy, it's the move.
Yeah.
I like stadium, old school. I can't wait to do my travel in Argentina. I want to go to the Bombonera. I want to go watch San Lorenzo. You know, the San Lorenzo Stadium, the atmosphere of San Lorenzo Stadium, to me, is worth more than to go watch a World Cup final. And I watched the World Cup. In 90, I was in Napoli. I went to watch Argentina and Italy. I was supporting Argentina on that day.
Tell us about that day.
Tell
That
us about
day
that.
is
Best
that
day of my life.
That's the day we need to
I
talk
was on the
about.
Vespa with my dad. We're going to the stadium, and we got interviewed by this Argentinian journalist on Argentinian TV. The guy had a glass eye of a eye that looked somewhere else, and apparently was very popular in Argentina. So the sketch was that he has to stop us and ask us why we're going, because we're the Napoli flag, the Maradona flag, we're dressed up pretty cool. I was little, I was with my dad. So they did the interview, and then we went. Back then, the Stadio San Paolo got split in top section and bottom section. We could not buy the ticket for top section; it was too expensive, so we bought the ticket for bottom section. But then me and my dad jumped upstairs. Now my dad was a pretty crazy guy, and we ended up sitting from Curva. My dad didn't like Curva, so we jumped the fence again to the Tribuna, which is the more central side of the stadium, because he wants to watch the game. And after we jumped, we ended up sitting next to Maradona wife, Maradona father.
Wow.
They were there with a big drum supporting Argentina, and I loved that day, man. I loved because even if you Napoletani support Italy, but they were not really true Napoletani. They were some of those
So this was the
paesani.
sorry to cut you off. So this was the 1990
Yeah.
FIFA World Cup final between Argentina.
No, final was the
Semi-final.
Semi-final
Yeah.
between Argentina and Italy.
Yes, in Napoli.
And this was Maradona playing
For
in
Argentina.
his
Napoli,
city
yeah, against Italy.
against Italy.
Yes.
So that
That's
has got to be one of the most
Oh, man.
greatest days
Yeah,
in your
yeah, of
life.
course.
It was, especially because we beat Italy. And the best thing was Italy was unbeaten and did not consider a goal until the semi-final. And then Zenga decided to fly and catch butterfly, miss out a ball. We still have a joke every time we see Zenga on TV on everything, and he get message, when you can send message from, people still give him shit. They still tell him, are you still looking for the ball? Did you end up catching the ball? Because it was one of the most stupid goals Italy could ever concede.
So
There was a cross, it just went out and missed the ball, and I think Caniggia handballed it in.
So what was the thoughts like in Napoli? What were were people in Napoli supporting? Was it like a mixed?
There was a
bag?
mix,
It was a mixed.
but
team?
majority of us don't go for Italy. Majority of us don't go for Italy.
Okay.
There's still the big debate.
Yeah.
See, in Napoli itself, we have a debate amongst Napoletani. Because they still, the modern Napoletani, the guys of your generation, they think football is just a sport. You should be free to support any team you want, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I never want a kids like that.
Maybe.
I leave him alone on the street, in the desert.
Did you hear that?
I don't want to.
You hear that?
You hear that? Yeah. I abandon him, like a dog on the freeway.
So after the match, was there like stuff going on?
Oh, the whole Italy is still talking about 20 years later. No, you guys cheated, you got busted, you guys went for Maradona, you didn't so shame of Italia. Oh, they're still sucking it up now. Well, they're sucking worse than Australians sucking for the penalty against Totti.
Oh, that was bad.
That was
That's
a big
still
sucking.
bad.
See, imagine Italians still talking about it.
Grosso was the one who dived.
Yeah, I was going for Australia that day.
Same. When Australia played Croatia.
But there
I
was
going
a
for Italy.
penalty, guys. I was going for Australia, but there was a penalty.
Yeah.
Neil did the best game of his life, but for fuck's sake, you never died
That's
in the
dumb.
penalty.
You think that was a penalty?
Yeah,
100%,
100%,
man.
You think that was a penalty?
Who goes
100%.
down in the box?
The guy is lying on the ground. I
He
trip over
He
you.
jumped over
Nah.
Neil
What are you
like on a
supposed to do?
trampoline.
What are you supposed
Like
to
on
do?
a trampoline.
Bello, there is no jumping over. I'm in the
Yeah.
penalty box. You dive in front of me. I hit you. I go down. You give me a
penalty.
penalty.
100%.
No chance. I'm
Anyway,
not
let's
gonna
not talk
agree-
about
not
this
gonna
guy.
agree
Let's
with
talk
that
about-
one.
No, I don't read.
Penalty.
No,
It's a
because
penalty.
The referee.
No, it's a
the
fucking
referee
penalty.
should not be getting fucking douched like that.
That's a penalty.
Regardless.
hey,
It's a penalty.
he sounds like Buffon after the Champions League final.
Why?
Oh, the referee doesn't have a heart. He has a rubbish bin instead of his heart. A referee can't give a penalty 90 minutes at the end
But
like
that
that.
was a penalty.
That was a huge penalty.
That was a penalty, I agree.
But Buffon's still sucking about.
But Juventus' defense should have fucking dealt with that 5 minutes ago.
No, I'm happy that way.
But that's fine. But I'm saying
I prefer that way.
that's my answer to Buffon.
Keep sagging up, Buffon. I hit the cunt.
Yeah?
The
Don't
most
like him.
overrated player in the world.
He's not a player, he's a goalkeeper.
The still most overrated goalkeeper in the world. Everybody in Italy bend over, suck his cock over there. Sorry, guys. They think he's the greatest. The greatest.
I mean,
Me and you, if we
Wojciech-
play for Juventus, we win 10 scudetti.
You
Because it's not us winning.
Well, we play for Dinamo Zagreb, we win 10 leagues as well.
Exactly. Doesn't make us a superstars? No. Makes the president a superstar. Because he pulled the right strings. But
Yeah.
let's not go there because people are going to get offended.
No,
we
let him
don't
get
care.
offended.
We don't care.
Let him get offended, but that was a penalty.
It wasn't a penalty.
That was a
I
penalty.
love it. You see what I started?
That was a penalty.
listen,
I don't care what
You
anybody
can
says.
steal one,
That is
no
the
chance.
dumbest ever decision by a defender. That would
No.
not happen in any other thing. Why did he slide tackle?
Hey,
for?
can we just pause,
Yeah.
make up, look at older, and then we start again? We put a line 20 years later. Hey, it was a penalty. Okay, that's what happened in Australia.
Nah.
They're
Every-
still talking
Hey,
about
I know
it.
every
They're
time.
still talking
I
about
don't.
it.
I look at you know me. I don't do Facebook that often anymore. Now just pop in, check few things. I go out. I'm more into Instagram because of my fitness journey and everything. But every time on Facebook, I go to some football page. There is that random post popping up from some guy. Oh, there was not a penalty. Italian cheat on us. I'm thinking, Minchia, man. It's 20 years
know,
later.
yeah.
They're still
of course,
talking.
of course.
But why we end up talking about Australia? Because of me. See what I do. I confuse them too.
We're talking about
Why-
the day of.
Yeah,
the
there was a great day.
The day.
And,
the day.
And yeah, it was great. And I remember then I'm going watching the final in Rome, Germany, Argentina, and all the Romans tunes against Maradona when Maradona used the famous line. Actually, when I have a tattoo of that Maradona face, it says "Hijo de puta," because during the national anthem of Argentina, all the Olympic stadiums start booing and whistling, which is something really disrespectful in football. You know, don't touch the national anthem.
Yeah.
I don't like you, but I don't touch your national anthem. See, I still have my boundary of respect, like a man with the balls.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So I know where to go, where not to go. I will never talk about your mom or your sister or your wife. You know, that's private shit.
Yeah, unless you're Icardi.
You can't. Then no, but in that case, your wife talks for you. Different. You know. She's the man with the balls. It's true.
Maybe.
Icardi, oh, that's another story.
But once again, there is one thing. See, I don't see the difference. Everybody picking on Icardi right now, and I can make jokes on Icardi. It's easy. It's easy target.
Yeah.
But Inter Milan. See, I speak Australian now. What you done to me? Inter.
I'm ashamed.
That's it.
Pick one.
Inter remove the captain armband from Icardi. All right, that's the most disrespectful thing you can do to a player. If you do that, you're gonna give me a reason. You cannot let whispering going around because until you can prove me that Icardi did something wrong, it's not just a movement, an inside job to get Icardi at Juventus, because I've been saying that since Marotta went to Inter. Juventus, whatever Juventus does, that's for a reason. Even get rid of Marotta and send him to Inter Milan, there is an agenda behind. You will see Icardi will end up at Juventus for free or for a cheap price. And that's Juventus style. That's
So
what they
Icardi
do.
will end up at
At
Juventus.
for a cheap
You
price.
heard it here first.
Oh, they've been talking about for months in Italy.
Yeah.
Talking about it and actually becoming real is different.
I know, but that's
They've been
Armando
talking
speaking.
about all
Like
sorts of
everybody
things.
was talking about James Rodriguez to Napoli, now Athletics, bullshit. James Rodriguez will be in Di Mauro on the 23rd of July. I can give you the date.
Where will we be? In Napoli?
In Di Mauro, when Napoli is going to be in pre-season on 23rd of July. Everything is already been organized, contract already been set and deposited.
We've got the inside word.
100%.
All right, give us one last. We're gonna go one last story. I know you were an
And this
ultra,
has to be juicy.
an ultra back in your days in.
You
in
want
Napoli.
to know when I got
Wait.
arrested?
We-
Which stadium?
Or
we
who
wanna-
you arrested?
We want a story on
few times.
You
I got arrested and I got a foglio di via. Foglio di via means you're not allowed to go in that city for 3 years from Genova, because I went to watch Genoa-Napoli, the Gemellaggio, but I was smart enough, stupido, say, you know what, back then there was the carovane, all the fans used to catch one train,
Yeah.
and you got a 1 or 2 train with 2,000-3,000 people going at the time. And I goes, no, I'm going to get it earlier. I'm going to get the train 7 o'clock in the morning. The people goes to work takers. And there was probably 150, the whole train. There was Napoli fan, but we didn't know each other.
Yeah.
It was the smartest one. But we didn't check what was going to happen in Genoa when we arrived there. Sampdoria was playing in Cremonese. So they don't need to leave early. Cremonese is only a few hours from Genoa. So as we arrived, all the ultras from Sampdoria was there waiting for the train. Now, we had 150 of us, some of us not even ultras. People they decide not to travel with ultras.
Yeah.
So they put us on the stairs in the train station. There was a few carabinieri. And the Sampdoria ultras become more and more. They start throwing us coins and tell us everything. A couple of them tried to break through the police, the carabinieri, to punch us. And we're only 150 of us. We can only tell them, sing a few songs. But you got to be careful. There's 1,000 of them.
Yeah.
But they didn't know that the Caravana Azzurra with ultras was coming. So slowly, we start getting more and more and more and more and more. Then we coming more and more and more, and police would waste the time. So they lost control. And I remember one guy wearing a big black coat like a Matrix. Back then was cool, wearing Dr. Martens, big coat, dark, Ray-Ban. He pushed the carabinieri away, went over there, picked up a guy, punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Dropped down, and then from that moment, I don't remember anything linear anymore. Chaos, because they jump on us, we jump on them.
Yeah.
Crazy things.
Yeah,
so I've always been the kind of little guy, So I don't go try into the mixer. I'm from outside throwing things. I was young, I was the shit. No, even worse. So the whole fight moved outside the train station. All right. So I ran it. There was a kiosk. You know what a kiosk is? Those pop-up bar in the middle of nowhere in Europe.
Kiosk.
It was closed. But at the back of the kiosk was all this milk crate full of empty bottle of Coca-Cola, Fanta, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I went right there and I started throwing bottle. Like crazy. I remember a tap on my shoulder. Fuck off.
Before I fucking throw one on you.
Another tap on the shoulder. Fuck off. And then bang. Bang. I went down. I look up the police. They were behind me. They just hit me so strong.
Yeah.
Because they got me from behind. So they arrest me. And they arrested like lots of us from both teams, in the caserma. A few boys crying because, lots of tough ultra, when they get one-on-one police, they cried, oh, I'm not nothing. We're human, I saw big criminal crying in front of the police when they got arrested.
Really?
They go, oh, fuck you. They go, oh, please, I got family, I got kids, not arrested.
Yeah.
So, and so I got sent back home. I didn't ever watch the game.
So you went early.
I went early to get there early. I went early back home.
He got home before the match started.
And I got arrested and I got 3 years banned from Genoa.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever been back?
To Genoa? Yeah, many times.
Oh, okay.
Even the year after. I didn't care about the ban. But they're going to check me.
Yeah,
my ID.
how?
Huh?
Yeah.
There was no mobile phone trackball or all
Yeah,
this
yeah.
internet stuff. So the only way to catch you is when you buy the ticket, you go at the door and they're going to check ID. Back then, the tickets were not even nominal. You just buy a ticket like the movies.
Doesn't have your name on it or
Doesn't have your
nothing.
name
No
on it.
passport
Yeah,
required.
yeah.
Now that you need
The problem is
passport.
if you commit another crime and they arrest you again,
Yeah.
and then they say, oh, Stronzo,
You've already
what the
been.
hell are you doing here? It's not supposed to be
Yeah,
here for 3 years.
yeah, it's true.
Then
it's
they
true.
ban you forever. Then what you're doing, they force you to every Sunday, if you got a big ban, if you got banned from one city, it's okay. But if you get banned from the stadium, from sports competition, now every time your soccer team plays, you have to go to the near caserma, near your place,
And sign in.
up and wait there.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
So
They
sometimes-
do that in Croatia as well with Dinamo Zagreb. I
yeah.
saw that because I've been to a few games at Stadion Maksimir in Zagreb there. And it's funny now because they are so strict on it. You can still smoke inside the stadium. The chairs are fucking floppy. Like it's all still old school.
Beautiful.
Inside the stadium, right? But outside the stadium, right?
The concept.
Passport checks, this checks, that checks, checking everything.
You know, the German
Right.
is the best thing. You know what they do, the German? They had to build a new stadium for the World Cup. And they have to have the seat, unfortunately, on the stadium are forced by the UEFA regulation. But the German really smart. They build a stadium where the hardcore supporter the chair are removable. So they only put those chairs when there's international game or UEFA competition game. So they sit into the standard of UEFA. When there is the league game,
Yeah.
the Bundesliga, they remove everything.
They just put the shoe on.
In Napoli, they did similar thing. In Napoli, they built the new seats. I don't know if you see the new stadium. It's amazing.
I've seen your posts.
We
yeah.
got it's amazing. It's amazing. It's the most technological public stadium in Europe right now.
Wow.
When I say public, because then you got
Yeah.
people with private stadium can be
Yeah,
compared.
yeah.
And the seat the way are now they foldable like the movies, but now between the seat and the next seat there's enough room for you to stand up. So supporters should not stand up on the seat; they can stand up on the stands.
Yeah.
Very smart.
I went when I was in Europe last year. I went for 3 months, and I got to see the last game of Dinamo Zagreb when they won the league. They lifted up the trophy. I got to see the cup, and the cup final was in a very small city in the east. It's called Vinkovci, and there's a club that plays there, Cibalia, and they used to be in the first division, but now they're in the second division. But they got a new stadium, so they got their new stadium redone. Very beautiful. Like, it's a small stadium, but it's good enough to host a cup final, right? It's not fully enclosed or anything like that, but it's nice. And it was Dinamo Zagreb versus Hajduk Split. So that's the two.
That's a big.
That's the derby, right? And it was unbelievable because seeing that game, that was the first time I had ever watched that derby, right? And that derby, when you look back into the Yugoslavia days, they were fucking rioting with police and stuff like that. It was massive. And seeing that as a young boy who's grown up in Melbourne, to go over there and to see that,
It was like wow.
unbelievable. The Hajduk Split fans, the Torcida, that's their ultras name. The Torcida, they tore up the whole section behind the goal. All the seats. It's a new stadium.
Yeah.
The first game played at that stadium.
They were away fan.
80%, not away. It was a.
Yeah, I know,
played-
but they did.
They had to travel further, but it's at a neutral venue, right? It's the 80% of that bay. The seats were on the pitch.
I'll show you something. Can I
The
get my
seats
mobile
were
phone?
on the
Can I
pitch.
show you something?
Sure.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Pietro, you can come here for a second. Give me the mobile phone. I'll show you something. Talking about seats. Napoli's getting renewed, all right? And before the seat that I had with my dad when there was stands, after for the World Cup in 90s, they spent a lots of money and they rebuilt the stadium. They put some red seat. They've been ugly motherfucker red
Yeah.
seat. All right? They've been there for many years. But I grew up on those seats. Because yes, my supporter life started with my wife when I was a teenager, with little kids. But then when I started going by myself, my ultra life started there. Look what I'm getting. I'm gonna show you this photo because you're gonna love it. Let me go for a second. You can talk about politics or commercial sex and keep people busy, no?
Keep the people busy. This is your toilet break, people.
Well, in other
This
news,
is half time.
Put the music. Na, 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 na.
No.
Sorry, those days I got 1,000 of WhatsApp groups and I am morto. That's it,
Mel's
cuginas.
been fun, hasn't it?
Hey, we got the Doherty Cup final coming up. You gonna go to the Doherty Cup final, Arden?
Okay,
Probably.
so those are the seats that were on the stadium before. I don't know, after I can send you
If you
screenshot.
send it to us,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
edit
that's
it into the
those
video.
are the seats, okay? That's
Oh,
a
wow.
removal. Now, what happened is the council took all the seats because those seats needs to be used for charity to build a local stadium in the area, right? And no one can touch. A few people tried to take it from the stand, they got arrested.
Wow.
All right? Hold a second. This is the back of the car of my cousin. Hold on. This is the police where they keep all the seats. See, look, guarded by police. And this is my mom holding the two seats for me. So one of these seats is coming to Melbourne, guys. You're talking about trust. Nothing happened. Hey, I tell you what.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh,
That's commitment, isn't it?
So we get one in Melbourne, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna end up in his room.
Import, export.
I'm gonna send you the photo after. It's gonna end up in his room. So look, for me, my life, it's about Napoli. So Napoli is part of my family. My mom, my dad, my kids, my dog, my soccer team.
yeah.
I can't split that kind of life.
Yeah.
So any decision that I make in my life is subject to a few things. You know, when you take a decision in your life, you need to take a decision subject to what is going to affect your family, your kids, your welfare, your health, and I'll take in consideration numbers as well. In the last few years, I've been playing soccer again,
Yeah.
Master
Yeah,
League
yeah,
or
yeah.
lower division. And it's the first time I'm wearing different color. But believe it or not, I don't know if it was a coincidence or just thing happening. I play for Monash, play for Langwarren, I play for Dandenong City, I play for Armando.
Dandenong City.
The whole blue, yeah. Before we were Scottish, blue and red with before that we merged. I say we because I was there with Chelsea.
Hajduk
Become
Chelsea.
Crash, yes.
Ah, okay, yeah, because Dandenong City and Hajduk Chelsea merged, and now we have
Super
Brendan
club.
Santalab.
Super club.
The Super Club. We
Super
took
club.
from Dandenong to Chelsea, man. Taking over the southeast.
I thought you meant Chelsea, England Chelsea.
No, that's the next steps. We're gonna merge with them too.
Up there,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
take over all for the Trafford.
Take over the whole southern hemisphere.
You're gonna
Germany
see me
included.
wearing number 10, Hazard, cancel, Armando.
Where can the viewers find you?
Okay, guys.
If they want more
If they want
Armando,
more, yeah. if they want the-
Personally, I really, my life changed 2 years ago. As you know, I was overweight. I stopped playing soccer a long time ago. I stopped coaching. I started living an unhealthy lifestyle, and later at night, drinking, smoking, sleeping a lot because I was managing restaurants. And then one day I was not really happy. I decided to change my lifestyle. So I started losing weight, training myself, running, blah, 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 blah. But then I got addicted. So now I got an Instagram, a public page on Instagram called Hamodieshi Journey, Fitness Journey. You guys can follow me there. That page is going to be all about football training, football as a player, and fitness.
How do you spell it? How do you spell
we'll
it?
write it down.
I'm gonna
We'll
send-
write it
I'll
down.
put- I'll
We'll
put
write
it-
it
I'm
we'll
gonna
put it
send you
there,
so many
yeah.
things. Your phone is
We'll
gonna
write
be
it down.
Yeah.
jammed. Also, I got my Facebook page, but my Facebook page I hardly use it, guys. But stay tuned because I got a couple of ideas that I'm gonna tell these boys regarding YouTube and Instagram.
YouTube.
I YouTube sandwich.
YouTube Milan.
YouTube, you Salman. Yeah? YouTube channel and Instagram. But yes, if you wanna follow me on Instagram, it'll be nice. I like to have followers on Instagram because I like to share lots of public stuff, my training regime, my diet regime. I like to help people, mentoring, get positives. I don't talk about ultra. I like to split my life. I don't like to get public about my ultra side because I understand lots of people in this side of the world does not understand and can get offended.
Yeah.
And
So it's just all about fitness, soccer
Yeah,
fair enough.
fitness.
but having said so, I got a trip coming up. That's a big news. I don't know if I told you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in Italy next week. I'm gonna go see my mom and dad. My dad is old, so I want to make sure see as much I can of them. But while I'm there, I decided to do something crazy. I booked myself a train from Napoli to Padova. I rent myself a car in Padova. I'm gonna drive to Padova to Di Maro, and I got an hotel booked for 3 days. I'm gonna go watch Napoli in pre-season
Beautiful.
training mode.
Beautiful. Great work.
And I'm talking right now with, I don't know if I should say, when this thing is going to be on air.
Probably later on today.
Okay, I'm not going to say the name, but I'm become a good friend with a couple of ex-professional soccer players.
Yeah.
They used to play AC Milan and other clubs.
Yeah, perfect.
People that scored 2 goals in a Champions League final. You know what I'm talking about.
So people that played for Milan.
Yes.
Yeah, so
they
like-
scored 2 goals in the Champions League final.
Zico Kalac.
Yeah,
Italian.
Is it Kalac?
That's a lot of, 2 on goal.
Goals.
Yep, stem.
Yeah. But I can't say names, but I think I'll give you enough
fine,
clue.
that's cool, you
Anyway,
don't have
he
to.
used to be roommate with Ancelotti back at the
Beautiful.
time when we used to play Milan together. And he's trying to see if I can go in so I can study Ancelotti football style for 3 days.
Awesome.
I'm going to study anyway. I'm going to jump over the fence anyway. I don't
We'll find a way.
know. Either way, I'm
What
going to make it.
offences?
Hey.
What offences?
Can you steal a chair for me?
Yeah,
on the way?
Dave, bring us a chair.
But Di Maro, they're going to have none of chairs, It's a beautiful place in the north of Italy in the Alps. So anyway, what I'm trying to say, I will probably start a blog or video blog.
Beautiful.
Or I don't know if I'm gonna use my YouTube channel, which is now we changed the name because a guy asked me to help him with his Facebook page called Napoli TV English. So I changed my YouTube channel name to Napoli TV English TV.
Okay,
We've done few
cool.
Napoli posts. We don't do much because I don't have much time, as you know. From next month onwards, I've finished working managing restaurants. I'm gonna have lots of free times. I'm gonna start my coaching career again. Actually, guys, if you are interested, you can contact him through my Instagram. I do a lots of one-on-one personal training with the professional players from Italy. They come here in holiday. Australian player that plays in Italy, and I help them all the time. So if you wanna do some one-on-one training or anything, contact me on money is not an issue. Don't worry, we can even do for free. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't do this for money. I do it for the love. But if somebody wants tips or helps, more than welcome to shoot me an email or a message, and I can give them tips.
That's cool. That's very generous of you.
But I will do probably a video blog of my trip in Di Maro.
Beautiful.
And I don't know if I'm gonna create a new YouTube channel. You create a YouTube channel only from one video blog. I don't know. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do.
If you want, yeah.
But I'm gonna do a video blog. It's definitely gonna be on Instagram like crazy because I love Instagram. I live on Instagram.
Yep.
That's it. So,
All right.
Well,
Thank you.
that's
Beautiful.
That's a wrap for today, I think.
guys, thank you very much for having me.
Thank
I
you
love
so
it.
much.
I
Thank you
think
for
we
coming.
should do this once a week.
Once a week.
Why not? Just
We could.
next time I'll bring some cannoli.
Yeah, for sure.
And we make a party.
Yeah, make a party. You bring something in your heritage. You bring something. You don't cook. Because sorry, I saw your cooking skills on TV. It's pretty much like my cricket skills. The same level.
Oh my God, good.
Non-existent.
Maybe the video that you did was rubbish. I don't
Oh,
know.
it was a bad
He
video.
undercooks chicken.
Yeah, I remember the undercooked chicken.
Undercooked chicken.
It was so undercooked that the chicken was still doing pio in your mouth. Pew. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Can I say something? Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like for the boys. The boys are number one. I just met him today, so I can't say much. But this guy, I met him how long ago, Bello?
2 years? 2.5
Oh,
years?
probably more. You were an imposter training with, what's his name?
With George.
George. Hey, George, wherever you are in the world, I love you, Bello. I saw him on Instagram the other day.
George,
Which
yeah,
George?
The professional
I'm
coach
just
from Greece.
Say his last name.
I can't remember his last name.
It's Greek last name.
but
Asta papa la pala pata pata pala
He's
pala
a
pata pala pala.
professional player, professional coach. He was in Australia,
Very
tried to
good.
do some coaching, but he realized that to come in Australia and become a coach, it's like going to Congo and try to become a swimmer. You know what I'm saying? Or a skier.
Yeah, skier. Yeah.
It's very hard. So he went back to Greece and he's working with I think, Paco, one of the top guys. He's a top guy.
Yeah,
He used to be involved with the national. I'm talking about he's a professional. George, wherever you are, we love you. So anyway, I met this guy through George. He's been doing this for a while. I think you deserve more what you're getting right now. The difference between you and a lot of these YouTubers, they get a lots of viewers because they sucking up and leaking up to every club, to every fan. There's those people that do those talks about Serie A from other countries. They talk good about everyone. They don't have the guts to say the truth. They talk about Juventus, perfect club. They talk about Inter, perfect club. They talk about Napoli, perfect club. This player, perfect player. This coach. Shut up, guys. Be real. Be realistic. Say the truth. If you don't like a guy, you don't like him, tell him to the face. Politically correct and democracy is a bullshit.
You're right. 100%. 100% true. But you gotta say it how
the
it
truth.
is.
Say how it is. And he's follow this guy. That's it.
Thank you so much, Armando. Thanks for coming. Thanks for
you,
coming
guys.
to my house.
Thank you. And you're gonna see the photo of the seat.
Yeah.
The photo of the
Yeah,
tattoo.
we'll put it
the
up.
photo
Yeah,
of the shirt.
we'll edit that one through. Well, guys, that's our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed the company of Armando.
Thank
We
you.
will throw all of his socials in the description so you can follow him and get more of that. Well, my name's Josip Herzog. This is Adem Ulutash, and we're the Shimpads.
Till next time.